All right. So we are going to be working on our last object that needs to be topologized today. It's the cape for our character, and this character belongs to Nodnin Studios, so please don't take any of the ideas or assets or something. But you can enjoy and watch the boring process. So thankfully this is our last item to Retopo. So let me get that pulled up. Go to the streaming screen. Alright. Sorry, I'm too loud. Wah! Okay, yeah, I went to the red. We don't want to go there. I just got chill, man. I get excited. I could always turn the gain down. Let me try that. La 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 la. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. I'll do that. I get a little excited. Alright, so this gotta get retopologize. Modify, make live. Quadro. Let me just try something real quick. Boom. Let's see. Okay, it's still going under, so I'm probably gonna have to probably gonna have to draw this slowly then. So yeah, this will take some time. I wonder if I can do it on the side here first. And I don't think this is completely symmetrical, so we can't just do one side, yeah, and duplicate it, because it wouldn't match. Boo. Some nice music today. Pretty jazzy. Something like that. Wonder why they aren't sticking. What the heck's going on? It's not grabbing. Huh? Yeah, okay. That was really weird. Come on, last item. Don't cause issues, man. It's the last item we gotta do. This is supposed to be an easy day. Don't be difficult. We don't need that today. It's Sunday. Or technically a second Saturday if you have Monday off. So yeah. You gotta enjoy Saturdays, man. I should play a video game. Yeah, I should set up my Switch and stream Tears of a Kingdom. Start over. I want to do that. So I should probably do that. Just don't know how it's gonna go. But if I overthink it, then I won't want to do it. I'm gonna keep that up here. This is gonna be a bitch just like the hair, aren't you? You gonna play games with me today, Capey. I do have a podcast episode I could listen to. I have music and podcast. You know what? Yeah, let's play some of the podcast. I'm not gonna listen to it while I work. I like when people are talking while I work, so.
Sits there, and they always have the base release of the model. So with the PlayStation 5, it was the gigantic router-looking fucker, and then you had after that you had the Slim come out.
This is what the podcast. So if anybody's interested, it's on YouTube.
Then the Pro released, and the Pro is a friggin' monster of a machine. And then now they're about to release the PlayStation 5 Pro Slim, so that's a slimmed down version of the Pro, which, talking in terms of Sony's cycles, this means that they're coming close to their next generation now.
I think we're all
Sony's known for making their consoles thicker and pragmatic, so they work properly. But then the second iteration after each of those thicker versions, the initial variants, right? They just make them compressed. They make them smaller.
Yeah.
Slim and sexy.
I will say, the larger the console, the better the airflow, and the cooler you can keep it, the better it's going to perform, less lag, less crashes.
Just
so,
more often than not, the larger version is backwards compatible, which is nice, but that's not so much a factor anymore, unfortunately.
If a game company really, really wanted to kick the shit out of the competitors, make 1 or 2 generations back. Make your current edition 1 to 2 generations backwards compatible, because most people don't want to do that anymore. They want you to buy newer media, and they force your hand by taking away your ability to enjoy your old games on the new console. If you wanted to get fans and customers excited, let them play PS5 and 4 games on the PS6,
PS2.
you know.
On
People
that
are gonna
note,
stop
they would
buying
do
the other
really
consoles.
well to invest in making them completely backwards compatible. So I mean, for Sony,
No.
if they made the second they make a PlayStation, let's say, just for all sakes and purposes, a PlayStation 6 that's backward compatible for all generations, and you can insert PlayStation, original discs, you can
I
insert
haven't.
PlayStation 2 discs, things like that,
Nintendo would never do that.
everyone would buy one.
I agree. I haven't bought
Everyone
a
would.
PlayStation since the 3, and I would absolutely go out and buy one tomorrow if they're like, you could play all 5 or 6 generations
That would be
of
the
PlayStation
smart
games on
choice
this.
for them.
Nintendo
but-
would never do. I love Nintendo so much, but I hate them because they would never do something like that, because every time you get a new system, you have to rebuy that same game for that damn system. That pisses me off. That's like, I love Nintendo, but I see their greed in everything, and it makes me very angry.
It's
It
the
makes
it's
me
the same
sad,
thing
too,
with
'cause-
Nintendo over and over.
Yeah.
Oh, not only that, but even the resellability, if that's even a word, is non-existent at this point.
Mhm.
The second nowadays, one, especially on the new Switch. I mean, whatever the newest one is, I
Switch
forget off the
2?
top of my head. Yeah,
I don't
Switch
know.
2.
Switch
The
2.
second you resell a game disc or whatever, right, and you try inserting it into your device, it bricks your system, not the previous owner's system.
I really think that if we're talking in terms of like digital gaming and cloud-based gaming, I think Steam did it right with the Steam Deck, because you have dock options to where you can hook it up to your television, you can hook it up and run it as a daily driver PC and all this other stuff. I think Steam really did it the right direction. I think Nintendo really screwed the market. I think PlayStation has always done what they've always done, and that's they're playing it safe. Every generation they play it safe with how the console should work.
Right.
But and then Xbox, I really don't have any experience with the newest generations of Xboxes. But my thing is that there's something to be said for physical media, and this is where Steam also does it right. Is if you buy a game through Steam and that game is removed from the Steam marketplace, it doesn't mean that it gets removed from your library. You will always have it because you always purchased it. But I've heard of instances where like Ubisoft, EA, Epic Games, I hear is really bad about it, where even if you bought it, but it gets taken off their marketplace, they remove it from your library. So if you're saying that I just spent that $60 on that fucking game, and then suddenly I log into my account and I go look at that game, but it was pulled off of their marketplace for whatever reason, now it's off of my library, where the fuck did it go?
Right.
Because there are a couple of games, like, I lost forever ago my physical copy of Fallout New Vegas. That's gone.
Yeah.
But thanks to Steam backing it up and verifying my purchase, I still have New Vegas always there. So, like, thank God for Steam's policies on that. But, like, I've heard of people losing crap right out of their libraries because...
Valve is based. Epic is, and again, not to make it geopolitical or what have you, but it's a Chinese-based corporation. I know some of the major upper developers that worked on, like games like Fortnite. Great people, but it's unfortunate how much of their work has been squandered by, again, a multi-billion-dollar corporation like Epic, and what it's turned into is a bastardized version of what it was supposed to initially be. When the colleague of mine that was one of the lead developers on it came to visit the college that I was attending at the time and explained the concept of Fortnite back in the day before it even came out, it was awesome. It sounded fun. It sounded like something that was more story driven, but now it's just a bastardized money grabbing operation.
Well, I mean, that's another thing is monetization.
Yeah.
I had this conversation the other day with Blue Skittle about how much games coming out now are so heavily monetized. You're expected to whip your wallet out every single fucking minute that you're playing some game and whatnot. I forget who was talking about it, but it was one of the it was one of the big baddies in the gaming industry. But, like, they were sitting there talking about charging you even to play a round of the game.
Man, they're getting
It was gonna
out of
be
their minds.
it was gonna be one of those type of games like Fortnite or whatnot, where you're basically constantly loading into new zones and whatnot. But
Yeah.
every time that would happen, in order to play that next level, in order to play that next round and whatnot, you were gonna have to spend $1 or $2.
That's
And
only
that was-
acceptable if you're in an arcade and it's a quarter.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what that
different.
sounds
though.
a lot like? Las Vegas.
Yeah, gambling. There was a legal case
Yes.
about that. For those of you who remember the game called Paladins, people were claiming, not to go down that deep rabbit hole for the moment, but just because I'm trying to make a point here. It's the game Paladins is the game that people were claiming that it's a ripoff of Overwatch. No. Paladins was in production 6 years prior to Overwatch's existence. So, be that as it may, what I'm getting at is that's what happened there. There was a whole Supreme Court case that went through the works of Congress, where they were talking about, how gambling has affected the gaming industry, because the way they were doing their loot boxes for aesthetic skins and things like that. Not even game-changing mechanics, just
I
straight
find
up
it
aesthetic
ironic
skins.
that they came after
Where you're
Paladins for
paying
that.
a raffle to hopefully win a specific skin. I am personally liable because, did I spend close to $2,000 on that game alone just trying to get one specific skin and never actually got it? Yeah, of course. But that's the nonsensical aspect of the dangers of gaming, unfortunately, is it's
What I don't
very
understand is why
susceptible
they-
to gambling
Well-
in that sense.
Can I say
Every
something about
mobile
the
game
gambling
uses
thing?
that format, so why chase down Paladins for doing it?
Well, because bigger fish
Okay.
were being fried up basically at the
Yes.
same time, because there was the case on Star Wars Battlefront 2 out
Yes.
in Germany where they were hammering on them about the loot boxes, and that's how come in the European Union.
What's up,
the way
Obama?
The loot box.
Oh man, how have you been? Oh, also quick note. Your video, it's actually not 104, it's gonna be 103. So you're gonna be speed draw 103, because I took a look at it today and I was like, oh, it's not 104, it's 103, and it's the very last one. Until I pick it up again, and I'm debating on picking up the speed drawings of people's portfolios maybe in October, probably mid-October. But I might just do it for like a couple weeks. I don't know yet. I don't know. I'm kind of like, yeah. Also, maybe you noticed, I don't know if it's still, yeah, it's good to take a good break, yeah. The speed in the YouTube chat, I think I turned it to like 10 seconds. Every 10 seconds you can make a post, just because I have a good person who likes to hang out with me, but oh my god, they just spam it up, and I'm like, bruh, chill. But they don't like to chill, so I had to make it more chill in there. But yeah, today retopologizing this cape. And in the background, we are listening to a podcast that I got to participate in. It, the What the Podcast. This episode just dropped midnight, so we're listening to that, and yeah, that's in the background. So play that.
Boxes used to work back in the day is actually illegal over there.
Yeah.
Is because they were like, this is full on gambling, you can't do that to children. And
Correct.
it's why EA almost lost
You have Labor Day off?
license from Disney. Yes, Ducky, I see your hand up again.
I just wanted to do a little quick story about the whole gambling thing, like with the gotchas and stuff, because I was playing Maple Story when I was underage as a kid. Dan's like, yep, Skittle. Anyway, I was playing Maple Story, and apparently when you want to get a new hairstyle, you had to roll Heck for yeah, it to dude. hopefully get the hairstyle you want.
Fuck yeah.
And I didn't really have any money.
I am a two.
And I needed more money to get that hairstyle. So my parents had this whole thing of quarters. And I would pull out all the quarters so I could get like a $10 gift card at Walgreens. I had a car at the time, but I didn't have money. So I would sneak out the quarters and I would go to the store and I would put it in this big coin thing where it'll turn it into cash. So I was like pouring all the quarters in, getting cash, and I kept on, and I'd come back home with the $10 card, and I'd spend. I wouldn't get it, and then I'm like, I gotta take more quarters. I'd go in. I kept on doing that, and let's just say my parents. I did get the hairstyle, by the way, after multiple attempts and driving, but I
I'm
got
glad we
caught.
clarified that.
Yeah, I got caught and I got in trouble. So no, I don't think this gotcha thing for kids is a good thing, especially when you have addictive personality and you're like, I have to have it.
I mean, if
Was
it's
it worth it?
cool,
Was it
it
worth
It
really.
was at the time, yes, it was kind of worth it because I was very happy I got it. But when I got in trouble and then I ended up having to do all this cleaning and getting yelled at and all this stuff, no, I guess not. A sound statement.
You got to do the time for the crime. Yep.
See, that's
I'm
how they
sorry.
also like promote these things too. Like,
Yeah, let me
It makes
pause that real quick. Yeah, I've spent a lot on video games, especially when it comes to cosmetics, and I hate the gotcha stuff where you have to roll for it to hopefully get the item you want. Oh God, I've spent so much money. I've stopped doing it now. You know, I've learned that, oh my gosh, I could do so much more with all that money I spent, because I've spent thousands of dollars and I'm sitting there now like, I could have used that money to buy a new bed. I could have done a lot more with that stuff, but yeah. And then you get your virtual item, and even if you have it, it's like, yeah, I got it. But then, heck, are you still playing that game years from now? When you could have had a bed that was super comfy. Yeah. So yeah. Gotchas fucking suck.
something really cool, and it's like they keep
True that,
showing
yeah.
it
Have you ever
off,
like
and then you see other
spend a
people
lot have you ever like spent a lot of money on a game and you're like, oh, why did I do that? And then I don't know. I get like this immense kind of like guilt afterwards, like, but then I keep doing it. But finally I've stopped. I'm good. I think I'm good now. Man. Play this back.
it, and you're like, man, I kind of want it now.
Right?
On an
Well,
anecdote level, and this
Core
is what
memory.
I like on a good.
I don't think
note
they
on
should
the
have those kind of
industry
games
as
for
to how it's
kids,
evolving.
honestly.
Arrowhead with Helldivers. I mean, obviously the flag, but with Helldivers, the way I've been saying this since day one of Helldivers 2's launch. I mean, this is gaming done right. The way they've been doing it is they have their aesthetic, packs essentially, the war bonds, and they're
Just a quick thing. If you're not interested in listening to the podcast, I can put music on. Just let me know. I want you to be comfortable, or you're just here to say hi. That's fine too. So you just let me know. Yeah, it can be harmful with the gotcha thing, like especially when you have an addictive personality, and heck, I feel like that could like create gambling addictions. I don't know. I think it's okay if you are a type of person who's responsible with your money, and maybe that's fine. But like when you're a kid and you're introduced to that stuff, you don't have that mental, I don't think you have that experience dealing with that stuff yet when you're at a young age, so yeah.
either monetarily obtain them by actually paying USD or whatever your currency is for the super creds to pay for them, or you can easily just grind and do the time and actually earn them in game.
Yeah.
And if you don't want something, screw it. You can literally go in and just select what you do want out of it. It makes it that simple. And they've actually gone to the extent where recently, since they've implemented Xbox players into the community, which is awesome, they added a Helldivers, pack to the game, and that not Helldivers.
ODST pack.
Oh, Halo ODST. My mistake.
Yep.
And they made that a premium war bond. So is it more expensive? Yeah. But same thing. You can easily grind enough creds to buy it outright without having to pay a dime.
They don't
like I did.
isolate it where there's one type of coin that is only obtainable through
Yeah.
cash. There
Yeah,
is
exactly.
basic money, and then there is
I like
super
games
credits,
where you
and
can
super
actually
credits can be
earn
earned
your
by
items
playing
without
or
spending
bought
real
if
money.
you're in a hurry.
Yeah.
However,
That shit sucks.
anything you can obtain through
Anything is
simply
fine. I
playing
am
the
modeling
game.
on
Exactly.
isometric
thinking
centric.
about
Okay,
Helldivers
cool. I
before
guess we
you
can
brought
both
it
sit
up.
here and just
In
model
my mind, I was
together and
thinking of a
just
comparison of
listen.
the difference between a gotcha game, a loot chest
Maybe
gambling
bitch about the
game, and
podcast a bit.
proper, true live service game.
Correct.
They are constantly updating it month by month with more features, options, and stuff you can get, but they don't hide any of it behind an actual paywall.
Yeah.
It is about the enjoyment of the game. they're giving you something that you can get without the whole gambling aspect.
Well, even games like open world RPGs, like MMOs, World of Warcraft, does that too, where you don't necessarily you have the option to pay the developers, which I'm all for, because being a former game developer, I understand that. But on a separate note, things like Star Wars: The Old Republic, same thing. You can pay for cred, relatively cheaply, might I add, but nonetheless, you can. But you can also earn everything just by playing the game, very simply.
Or you have the opposite in this industry. So you have games like Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact. You have these games where basically anytime you want the ship drops and whatnot, you're spending money, and you're spending money on basically a roulette wheel to tell you whether or not you're getting something. And you could have a bad draw 15 times in a row and not get it. I don't know. I back when I was a VTuber, I was sponsored to play one of those type of games, and I couldn't stand it. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that they were paying for me and that basically like I was given a set amount that they told me that I could pull for stuff, and they were like, do this number of pulls and don't worry, it's free. And yet, but after I got done doing that, did I ever go back to that game? Fuck no.
Did you tell your audience you liked the game because you had to? Or did you say, this is shit, don't get it, you guys?
No, I didn't. So that I wouldn't get in trouble, I never sat there and said one way or another if I liked it. I was just like, here's the game, we're going to play it, and then ended the stream, basically, after we got
showcased it.
Yeah, I did. Okay. I did my 3 hours of it, and then I was like, because they were like, we need at least 3 hours. And I think they thought that maybe I'd like play an hour a day or something like that. No, I just did it all in one go and was like, nope, I'm done. Okay, I'm out. Yeah. Okay, tomorrow I was like, tomorrow we're playing Pressure Wash Simulator. So, like,
now that you mention it, so Star Wars: The Old Republic, I played a lot of that too. Also, now that I think about it, it had all three aspects. It had the gambling aspect of it, where there is an option where in their cartel market where you can actually roll the dice and get something random from the market at that point in time, whatever's popular. But that's just it used in-game currency to do that. So you're not actually wasting USD or whatever your IRL currency happens to be on that, which is fantastic in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a healthy business process. So
yeah,
it should be done.
Correct.
It's always made me wonder if one of the reasons of why they killed Galaxies, because I loved Galaxies. If one of the reasons
console
why
games
they
growing
killed
as well,
Galaxies
or gotcha all the time. Okay, so growing up, I always played like, I didn't just play gotcha games. I played just like a lot of Nintendo, the old school. Like I had like the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo 64, the GameCube, the Wii U. It progressed with a lot of Nintendo. I had a PlayStation 2. I got an Xbox 360 when I was like 18, 19. But gotcha games, like I started playing more of the gotcha games probably when I got a little bit older. But then again, Maple Story was kind of like a gotcha game, and that's when I was like a kid and I was getting money taken from me, because there was like a certain hairstyle I wanted for my character, like I was saying in the podcast, and like you couldn't just get the hair. It was like you had to roll for it, or the hairstylist will give you a random hair and you just hope you get the one you want. So then it was like, God damn it. And I wouldn't get it, and I'd have to drive to the store and get it. And there was a game I was recently, I quit like a year. No, actually I quit like 6 months ago, but I was playing that game for like 5 years, and anything you wanted in the game, you had to roll for it. And that sucked a lot of money out of me. And that's when I was like, okay, I had to realize like, okay, I'm spending like thousands of dollars. And, it took me a bit, but finally I was like, okay, I just have to pull the plug on this. So in game, I went to like my friends on there and I'm like, here, take all my items. And they're like, what? And I'm like, just take all my items. So I started giving all my items to all my friends. So it would demotivate me from wanting to come back to the game, because without those items, it's like, those were my big valued items. I loved them so much, but if they were gone, there was no reason for me to play anymore. So I gave all my stuff away. I said, I'm quitting the game. I can save money by not playing this anymore. Pulled the Band-Aid off, and I left that game. I think it was High Rise. It was like a mobile game on your phone. I don't recommend getting it because if you have an addictive personality to like cute cosmetics for your character and stuff, it will drain your bank account. So after quitting that game, I've been saving a lot of money now, so it's fantastic. So now I'm hoping to plan a trip to Japan next year, so I'm excited, you know. Heck, I got enough money. I've saved enough money. Now we got a fence for our yard. Like, I'm doing a lot more. So I'm like, I'm glad that game is gone. So, yeah, wow, yeah, right. Did you, were you like a console gamer or like as a kid or, did you play any kind of gacha games or like, ooh, you have to roll and hopefully you get it? Because I know Overwatch kind of did the same thing, I think. Like, when you wanted something, you kind of had to roll for it to hopefully get that skin. I loved Overwatch. I didn't... I think it was a roll for that. I don't know. I didn't spend too much money on that. But that High Rise, though, that was pretty damn addictive. I'm glad I don't play that no more. Ugh. I know I played Gaia Online as a kid, and I definitely put money in that because I was like, oh, I want to get the monthly collectibles, and then I can sell them for money, and then I could hopefully get the cool item I want. Oh my gosh, look at that spiral. Delete it. Boom. No spirals. Oh, I'm gonna cut that. We'll do it like that. Something like that, yeah. Yeah. But I'll put this back
This
on.
is because they couldn't monetize it.
Yeah, 100%.
Or possibly just to push traffic to newer IPs like Old Republic.
I think that's the case, personally, because I'm just being more of a lore nerd, considering the fact that Disney massacred thousands of novelizations and, again, retconned a lot of stuff, which really irked me. The holy grail behind me. That's just it. Is they definitely... I think it was more of a story-driven decision, less than a monetary decision. I think it was more... It left a lot of interpretation open for things, and a lot of things got retconned from Galaxies as a result. So,
I mean, I
it was
remember
just
when
Disney
they
being
added.
Disney.
I remember when they added Kashyyyk because I was like, "This is so confusing. Why are we adding Kashyyyk into the game? Like, we are beyond like that moment in time. So like, why is this here?" And then it just got really confusing. So
it was very convoluted. Yeah.
But funny side story is I do remember shortly after Jump to Lightspeed came out, and I got since I had been playing since the beta, I got the yacht.
Oh, cool!
The indestructible player yacht, and I remember sitting there like chilling out on my yacht once, and sitting there just hanging out in space, and I had this little player who kept trying to attack it and whatnot. And I'm just like, yo, bro, you realize you're not doing any damage. You realize this thing's never gonna blow up. You realize you can't steal it. Like, this is not going anywhere. So, but you know, I think, you know, whatever's going on in certain game devs' heads nowadays is totally different than what the C-suite has in store. Because you sit there and you see things like CD Projekt Red, and they tried really hard with Cyberpunk 2077, and it I will say it was good and everything like that. But I mean, even then, look at what they're talking about for The Witcher 4. And it's like,
I thought it looked good. No?
I mean, but the thing is that they're already talking about adding live service elements into it. And
what does that mean?
So basically meaning always check summing the game, sitting there and like, you know, making some aspects kind of like gotcha aspects where you have to go in and buy certain things. Like
they're pulling another Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yes, where they take what should have been an offline RPG where you could stop it, save it, pick up where you left off. But now you log in, and it's like, oh, we've added all this new crap that you can now bid on, gamble on, or roll these side quests to get the...
Oh,
They're
fucking
adding
sucks.
live service purchasable options into what was a beautiful standalone offline game.
It's
and
ridiculous
watering it
at the
down.
end of the day.
The one thing I'm happy that's coming out of Rockstar about GTA 6 is that with Rockstar, they have sat there and said that GTA 6 will be GTA 6 and that GTA Online is that separate entity. It's not one of those things where they're going to roll it into the world of GTA 6 and have all these online things that pop up on you while you're playing and whatnot. Now, do I see them eventually enabling that anyways, like they did with GTA 5? Yeah, but at least maybe we might get a year or two of the game just being a pure single-player heaven.
On
I
that
have
note,
a feeling
GTA 5
that GTA 6 is going to flop.
What?
And I can explain why. Considering the chart of how gaming has become in the past decade alone, you know what I mean? We went from 6.5, 7, you know, on the rating chart, and it's dipping down pretty quickly in the past couple years. Now, can it pick up? Absolutely. But it's going to take something really special to do that. And I really don't have a whole lot of faith in GTA 6, considering the fact that their initial trailer had, and again, not to get political or preferential or anything like that, but quite frankly, it seemed like they were pulling the cater wagon to a lot of the, you know, the woke mob and things like that. And again, anything that's gone towards that direction has flopped a lot. You know what I mean?
I don't even think it's necessarily that. I think the structure and management has changed over at Rockstar so much that
You're not wrong.
I think it's just going to basically be like, if they don't do it right out of the gate, we're eventually going to get into that part where they're going to monetize everything in it. They're going to ruin it like that. So, because, you know, it is one of those things, like, it just seems to be every single studio's preferences is, can we charge you money for it? How can we charge you money for it? What are we going to charge you money for this month?
You're right. And that's what I was going to say. It's not inherently like gamer driven or story driven, as it should be, mind you. It's been business oriented. It's been what shortcuts can we take to take your money in a reasonable medium. You know what I mean?
True.
On that note,
looking
I'd like
at
to circle back to GTA 5 for a second. While we're still within the
5 or 6?
5.
Okay.
5, what they did to keep the game alive and to also keep getting additional revenue after everyone on Earth owns a copy, instead of adding microtransactions to the game, they simply built, they put in the freaking work. They built DLC packages. If you wanted new weapons, new missions, new vehicles, and yes, outfits and skins came with this, but they weren't random draw. They weren't loot boxes. You bought a DLC, and you could go on and read everything you were paying for before you bought it. There was no random luck of the draw.
But
They built it, they put in the work, and they're like, do you want more content? We're still making more content. You can get it for a pretty reasonable price.
But
and
this
you can
was
get
all
the ones
built
you
into
want
the...
and leave out the ones you don't, and it won't really affect that much of the game.
This was all built into the online environment, though. They never did anything to sit there and modify the original single player story.
Yes, that stayed 100% original from launch.
And so when they released, let's talk about the casino pack. When they had sat there and they released the casino pack, had they included something that also added and heightened the single player experience, I might have been for it. Because that would be heightening the single.
If anybody's
player
here, I'm just listening to a podcast
we never added anything into the single
That'd be a good
player
background.
experience. So we got a million different versions of GTA 5, but nothing ever sat there and gave us anything new story-wise, no new lore-wise or anything like that.
That would have been a nice option to see. Expansions for the single-player campaign. I would have definitely bought into those DLCs if they had decided to make them.
Yeah.
Personally, I probably wouldn't have cared. I'd probably want more online stuff. Just when it's a GTA or Red Dead Redemption, it all goes to the online because that's usually where people are
You
mainly
play the single
going.
player once or twice, and then yeah,
Right.
you want to play with friends in an open
I've
world.
played that single player so many times.
Oh, okay. Then maybe there are
I-
people who like. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I just think
that's-
majority is online, but
Yeah, I mean, I'm realizing it's becoming rarer and rarer to find somebody who sits there and doesn't like playing online component games. I like basically single player story driven games. That's primarily mainly what I play nowadays. Do I want to play with randos and whatnot? No, not really. I mean, I like being by myself and I like exploring the lore and stuff like that. I mean, in Cyberpunk 2077, I sat there and, I mean, God, I wandered everywhere around Night City. And I read all the terminals, looked at all the really fucked up advertisements. So,
I've read all the books in it. I'm a now for the record, I'm a huge, huge Talsorian games enthusiast. So that's just it. Is Mike Pondsmith is like a deity to me. I love everything that man has written, and that's just it. Is I'm big on like the original book. You know, he wrote in 1988, and seeing a lot of the predictions he made, and it's just again, I can go down that rabbit hole, but I'm not going to for the moment. But no, fucking based on what we've been talking about with video games, we were talking about, you know, upcoming things and our interpretations as to how they may be, what they may become. I am curious about Orion because that's the latest thing, the CDPR. I'm not a fan of CD Projekt Red at all.
Yeah.
I think they're trash personally, but that's just me. But what they did with 77 wasn't bad, but it could have been significantly better and performed significantly better. I can't stress that enough. I think Michael Pondsmith got screwed in that deal. That's just my opinion. I honestly, I think that there was a lot of talent that was squandered in that. Yeah, they had Keanu Reeves. Yeah, they had a very star-studded cast of people involved with that, but they could have performed it so much better. It didn't, because I don't think it really drove the point across of what the game is meant to be. They made it. I mean, you look at it now. You look at the mods for the game, and it's all cosmetics for the Instagram thoughts. You know what I mean? That's really all it's become at this point. And then furthermore, looking at what they're talking about with Orion being more globally involved instead of just Night City, it has a lot of potential. But I'm really hoping CD Projekt Red doesn't screw it up along the way.
So in Cyberpunk, I think one little direction they could have gone to really improve the replayability and make the world feel deeper and different every time you played through is if they went the route of Elder Scrolls, where from the beginning you custom your whole character's appearance, then you custom a lot of different classes. Cyberpunk made it so you basically replay the same character and you could structure their stats different. It never felt like a different character or a different playthrough.
Yeah.
If you made different choices, you kind of still had to go through all the same motions every time in the story.
Yeah. You're on the right track. So they changed it along the way, and very recently, might I add. They recently redid it to where it's a little more streamlined to a class-based system, which it should. Okay. It should have been in the beginning, because again, if you play the tabletop game, that's how you're supposed to do it anyway. But
I think of the tabletop version of the game, and I want to feel a little bit more like
that's how they should have done it in the very beginning, but they didn't do that in the very beginning.
You know, the
Phantom Liberty.
Yeah, Phantom Liberty added thank you, added a lot to the game. The only thing that I didn't like is that it changed the ending. I fought so hard for my girl to sit there and escape with Judy out with Pan Am into the desert and whatnot, and
yeah,
I feel like my ending was ruined.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. Yeah.
So,
but that's why I leave a lot of hope for Orion and what they have going on there, whatever they're planning with it. Apparently, they're adding Morgan Blackhand into the fold, which is really exciting. But
okay. So my question to you is, and you know, also feel free to jump in anytime, Skittle. Anytime.
love
Oh,
you.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just formulating my own statements, so don't worry.
You can raise your hand like I do. It helps.
I'm always locked and loaded, so.
Yeah, Skittle, cut me or Keith off anytime, please.
Yeah,
Feel free to go. Hey,
No
hey,
worries.
hey.
Shut up! Shut up! I'm talking! I have something to say! Now listen!
yeah.
That
happens.
works. It really does.
Yeah, it really does.
My
It's
turn.
my Tim Robinson.
My turn.
Do
My inner
we-
Tim Robinson.
Like my fear, and this is a little bit of my fear because I grew up, I lived through it, and that's if I get copyright struck for that, I'm gonna be so angry. The
15 seconds is the limit, so don't worry.
yeah. My thing is I lived through it, I went through it, and I have huge memories of it. But the gaming crash of '88, like I remember that very vividly. And if it wasn't for Nintendo, give Nintendo its props. It really did bring the gaming world back forefront. But to me, this has lately been feeling like we're reaching that precipice again before we're about to go through another crash. And
I agree with you there.
a lot of people are sitting there saying there are game companies out there, EA, Ubisoft, Nintendo, Sega, all these other companies out there. They're going, oh well, if a gaming crash happened, they'd all be fine and whatnot. But it worries me because you think about some of the smaller developers out there. Smaller developers like those who are working on like Helldivers, the smaller developers out there who are working on games like Phasmophobia, Power Wash Simulator, Duckside, all these other smaller developers out there. How are they, what would a gaming crash to them be like? Because back in the original gaming crash, you really only had companies like Atari. You had like 4 or 5 big names and then like 3 or 4 small names, and then that was it. Now there's so many. If a gaming crash were to happen again, who knows what the waves would look like.
Small developers would most likely have to close their studios.
Bankruptcy.
Not
yeah,
necessarily,
absolutely.
because I have a theory on this, and it's funny you bring this up. So, based on what we've seen projection-wise, and considering how the market is going at the moment, let's step back for a second. Now, we look at media and the way that it's gone in the past decade alone. I mean, I'm not even talking the past 20 years. I'm just talking about just the past 10 years. We've seen media grow to an extreme level to an extent where we're seeing the average person's attention span is lightning quick. It's not, they can't stay on the same thing for more than 5 minutes at a time.
I mean, the average
which is
Disney
sad.
Disney movie is now less than 90 minutes.
Which is really sad. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm not for it. I'm against it. But seeing how the market's going, right? Especially with Gen Z, with the way that they are, with very fast-paced thinking, which that's great. But with the attention span, that it's not. They become kind of useless at that rate. But digressing for the moment, that's kind of the market we're trying to appeal to now at this point. The gaming industry is that fast-paced, quick-second, thinking, and that flashing lights constantly. You know what I mean? So you look at games like Mage Arena is a big one right now, and it's very, very small studio that developed it. Very small studio, and I'm talking bottom of the indie list, right? But they're at the top of the charts right now because of how many people are playing such a stupid, poorly made game.
You don't need a big polished game. You could release some
No.
alpha game that's just super addictive, and it'll be hype. And then in 3 to 6 months, it'll be irrelevant.
It's gonna disappear.
So you can churn out games a little quicker.
It's that
That is the title.
That ADD riddled, fast-paced, type media has infiltrated the gaming industry because of that. And I think that's the market moving forward for now. And I'm agreeing with
so
that
tiny.
the gaming market crash may occur again because again, even with people like me at the moment, I've become so bored with most game titles lately that I get home from work.
Hope you have a good rest of your stream. Glad to catch you a bit today. Well, I appreciate you, Bama, and I hope you do good work on your model. And if you ever want to share some of your model work and stuff, you can look me up on Instagram. I should have like a link on my YouTube, and you could message me on there, and I could look at some of your work, man. I always enjoy looking at other 3D modelers or artists and looking at their work. So, but I hope you have a good rest of your Sunday, and I hope you have a good Labor Day, and maybe I'll be streaming tomorrow or something. I'm not sure yet. We'll find out. But you have a great day, man. I'm just going to continue to listen to this podcast while I chill and just zone out into this crap. Oh, but yeah.
Because it's all the same crap. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's really sad, but at the end of the day, I think that would be good for most people is if for something like that to happen, because once it does, the only place developers can go is up at that rate. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah.
I feel
I
like
think,
a lot of small. Oh no, you go. You haven't talked.
Go for it. Go
No,
for it.
go Dan.
Read the bottom of this column.
Go.
Get all
Go.
say stuff.
Yeah,
I think part of play of like these games blowing up like that, it's because of all these streamers, right?
Thank you. That's what I
One.
was going to say. But continue. Yeah, you took my point. Go.
The share counter is at 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Agreed.
A lot of these streamers nowadays, everybody's trying to become one. Nothing against it, right? But it's
Yeah.
not some easy to get into,
Mm-mm.
especially if you don't have like the support and the team to like blow up. But I think ever since COVID, the whole streaming industry just blew up, and that's what people like to see these different types of skits of these games to see if it's something that they're interested in or not.
I was.
And
I was just gonna, with the only reason I started playing Mage Arena is because I was seeing short clips on Instagram with fireball, and it's like it's
just
funny.
the people
Yes.
make it interesting, make
Right.
it like exciting, and I think that's the way that it's been going forward with, instead of showing like actual gameplay footage of like how it actually is, instead of hyping it up so much.
It makes it
and-
thematic in that sense. Sorry,
Mhm.
sorry, WTF, not to cut you off, but that's
No,
just it
you're
is.
fine.
With the game Peak, for another example, another direct correlation here, and again, just based off of what Skittle just said. So thematically it's a big a theme is a big factor too, because with Peak, it's the scenario there is you're a troop of Boy or Girl Scouts going into this wilderness experience, and you're having to make it out alive. In the game, there are actual references to the movie Up. Like there is actually, a Russell outfit and a, the old guy, outfit in the game.
I
They're
didn't know
direct
that.
references to the
I
movie
didn't
Up,
know
so
him
it
saying that.
kind of gives you a theme to base off of, and that's what intrigued me initially to that game, was seeing my community members playing it, and they were just being stupid children playing it, which made it really intriguing at that sense. So it's also a theme-based factor as well.
I also though would have to say that while it's fun watching streamers that you're into, like sitting there and engage with a game and everything like that, like whenever I sit there and I see like, Michi Mochibi or Shy Lily or somebody like that playing a new game, and I get hyped and interested in it. I also think that there's also some streamers out there who do a disservice to their job to reflect a game, either poorly or positively and whatnot, because I hate name calling. I'll probably get some people angry at me about this, but QXC always plays a game, and it's always the most amazing game that he's ever played. But like, the one thing I always appreciated by like Jacksepticeye or like PewDiePie or some of the older guys in the industry, if they played a game and they found it dog shit, they would call it out on it.
Right.
But like,
Yeah,
QXC,
100%.
everything he fucking plays is somehow like an amazing game. And then when he does call out a game, his chat's like, "Oh yeah, you're right. But
but not even that. Look at Quapping. Who remembers Quapping?
oh,
What the hell is a quap?
mhm.
Everyone shat on Quapping, and yet
The hell is
everyone
Quap?
played it. Everyone and their uncle did. You know what I mean? And even the shitty games that everyone liked to shit on, like Nickelback for of the gaming world, Quapping was that game.
What is quap? What the fuck is a
Google it.
quapping?
So
Okay, is this a
So-
porn? What is this?
no,
No.
it's not. No, it's a really
How do you
fucked up game. Well, it's like
Okay,
Happy Wheels. Happy
like
Wheels
Happy
was
Wheels.
another one of those.
but a little more tricky.
Yeah.
I don't think that's popping up. QWAP.
QWOP.
Yep. QWOP. So
Can I pull up an image?
yeah, go for it.
Go right
I
ahead.
just entire screen. This
What
one.
did you discover?
No, just the images. Just
Yes.
okay. So it's so. Just think that's funny.
Imagine,
So nobody,
imagine sprinting.
yeah, thighs,
Well-
calves.
Yeah, you're having to control every individual muscle.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's you know, it's one of those things. Like at first you think it's like gonna be like easy and whatnot, and then suddenly like you're like, oh my god, what is this? And like here we go. I'll be the sacrificial lamb. I'll be so if I can sit here and get this to behave for like 2 seconds. So I'll be the sacrificial lamb here.
Oh,
All right. So here it is. All right. So
you are.
now
quap.
I
That's
was
his name.
always bad at this. So but all right, we're going to click to
Oh.
begin. All right.
I
So
wish I'd seen that.
oh yeah, no, you see I'm already
Oh my god.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
this
yeah.
Back
You didn't
so
even
many
move
memories.
forward.
He moved backwards.
Thighs, calves, thighs,
I think it's calf time.
calves, calves.
Calf
Come
time.
on.
PPPP.
W-
And then
oh,
Q-
No,
W-
no,
oh.
no, I moved 0.1 of a meter. All right, we'll try this again. All right.
You
all
got
right,
this.
So,
Oh, boy,
Oh,
joining the Olympics before
Oh,
we
Q.
learn how to
Oh my
Oh,
gosh, this
points
has to
up,
be
yes.
hard.
So QOWP, QOWP.
QWOP. Yeah,
No,
that's
no,
why it's called
QO
quap.
No, no, no.
Oh, QOWP. Okay.
oh yeah, 1.1 meters. Yeah.
See,
I
it's better than
totally made it.
before. See,
So
best 1.3.
QOWP. Oh, he was just.
Holy shit.
It's like a guy just.
I
slowly
almost had the
falling.
music queued up though for a second there.
Oh, hey, you can go
oh,
by 1 foot.
come on,
Hop the way.
Get it? You're going backwards.
That,
Just gained negative
Go
ground.
forward.
Go forward. Go
On
forward,
your
you bastard.
knees.
He's doing the
No.
moonwalk, guys.
Negative 0.1.
He did the
Anyways,
moonwalk for
yes,
a second.
that's quap.
Oh,
All right.
no.
Like
That actually
so-
looks kind of fun and frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, but
But that's
it's
to Steve's point. That's what a lot of streamers were doing, even though they were openly shitting on it and telling people don't play this. Everyone did. It was almost like
Because it's funny.
reverse psychology.
People like the
is.
funny. Like the reason why I played Mage Arena is because it's funny. Like
Yeah.
how they videotaped it, how they did it all looked really funny.
Yeah.
Excitement builds, and then you're like, I want to have that much fun like they did. Maybe you won't, but from that video I saw, it looked really fun.
100%. That's what got me into
Right here,
Valheim
bad games can be
initially.
fun.
I mean, same with
Really?
Valheim. I wasn't gonna play it or buy into it because I thought it looked stupid, like one of the stupid Minecraft ripoffs. But because it was low res and it was,
Yeah.
you know, crafty.
that
It was a
game.
crafty game. But that's just it. Is
Yeah.
when the second I saw a streamer get crushed by a tree, it was the stupidest clip. But the second I realized the trees can kill you, oh my god, I have to try this now. And
Just because
I'm-
a tree can kill
I'm
you.
obsessed with it now. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
You do love that game.
um
Okay,
You
this game
also-
sucks.
you
You're wrong,
I'm
Six.
done with it. I'm done with it.
well
I think it's cool.
I mean, here's the thing though is you know we also had a great time with games that were a little bit more different back then. Black and White, God
Oh.
Hand, those kind of games.
That was
Mhm.
fun.
Like you know we definitely had those. Oh yeah, go now. Here we go.
I love
No,
that.
no. Going back into what you were saying, like they had different mechanics back in the day that made things more involved with like the game itself, and you're like, ooh, this is cool. I wonder what else I could do, or what else we
Yeah.
could do in this game. And it seems like nowadays they're just making it more prettier and less mechanics, you know.
Valheim? That's for Valheim, okay.
I see
Yeah.
what you're saying.
There's
Yeah,
so
they
many
keep the
games like
controls,
Valheim.
the mechanics, and the physics all the same. When half the adventure was learning how everything functions in the game's physics and how you could break it or do weird stuff in it.
Well,
If
when
you
you
guys
want
look
things to
up
be
the
prettier,
beta,
you can
it
make your
was
base look
so
really pretty
different
with
from what
nice
it used to
candles
be.
and floral
It's
decorations.
amazing what their
Yeah,
beta
that
was
gets
like.
boring after a while.
Why must every game have a food, water dynamic? Oh, you got to keep your
Survival.
guy alive.
Survival.
Like, there are games out there that have it that don't really even need it. And it's like,
True.
why is it Ark? Ark is my classic example because the way Ark started, it didn't need that crap.
No.
But then now it's in there. You know?
Adds
Why-
an extra element of survivability, I guess.
Yeah, to a degree, but that's what I like
I
about
think it's a
Valheim is you
trend.
don't necessarily inherently have to because
Hmm.
it's almost emanating because the name itself is an amalgamation of Valhalla and one of the Heims of the Nine Realms, but that's just it is Valheim. It's like an afterlife. You're given a second chance after living life on Midgard, and you have the option to eat and consume things, but you don't have to. You only do because either it gives you stats, buffs, or
Drunk.
because why not? You know what I mean? You have that
Yeah.
option.
Drinking in the game just for the fun of the effect. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
tasty mead. Yeah, exactly.
Or role playing. You could be role playing.
Yeah,
It is.
no.
It's not required for survival. It's more for the role play aspect of it. Yeah.
Exactly. Hmm.
So, what is everybody's pinnacle of gaming? And I'll kind of start us off on this. And I'll sit there and I'll say, for me, it's always games like Journeyman Project, Pegasus Prime, Turbo, pick one. It doesn't really matter, but the more flushed out, better looking point and click games that didn't necessarily super punish you always, not like in the same regards as like King's Quest, but that if you had more curiosity, you'd sit there and you'd get better clued into the universe. I think
Right.
I think Journeyman Project 3 did the best job at that, was really encouraging you, click everywhere, find out, have Arthur talk at you and find new things. I think for me,
Adventure.
it's kind of those pinnacle. That's kind of like the pinnacle of gaming for me. Is like a point and click adventure game. Doesn't necessarily have to be a point and click, but an adventure game that draws you into its world deeper and deeper.
Right.
So, 6.
Honestly, just looking at my Steam library just to give myself some inspiration, I'm gonna have to go with. I mean, obviously Cyberpunk, and I'm not just talking about just 77, but even the Talsorian book. But that's a big one, and that again, that's older than most video games for obvious reasons. But I'm just stating the way that it's run, the way that it's built. I mean, D&D is an obvious one, but Talsorian and Mike Pondsmith made Cyberpunk in such a way that was unique in and of itself, to where you could actually flesh things out to a degree that nothing else could. You know what I mean? And that's what I like about that. It's not just the role-playing aspect of it, it's the world building. You make it what you want to see in that sense. And that's what I really took home from that. I mean,
It's like
you could
going
arguably
in.
say the same thing about No Man's Sky, and I like that a lot too.
There's a
Because
lot
not
of
initially when it came
direction
out,
to
I
go
liked the
with
direction that it was meant to go in, but they didn't have the capability at the time. And you look at it now, and we're what 12 seasons in, and it's phenomenal what they've made out of it. It's just such a deep, well-written game that draws you into it. You can literally escape into random nothingness because that's how it's designed to
It's
be.
gonna take a bit.
I like exploring the unknown in things, and that which I've never seen before. It keeps it interesting because that's the inner explorer in me. But that's just me.
Adventure.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Skittle?
Well, I think mine's pretty obvious. I got, the little Daisy over
Daisy.
here. Yeah, Daisy's definitely my top game. Like, I love. There's a lot of things to love about it. Like me, I always loved the survival aspect, right? And then with the little sprinkle of like zombies and like the big thing for me was like the mechanics, things you can do, right? The reason why I love DayZ so much is because one day you're like, hey, I feel like building today. You could build all day if you want to. Or you're in the mood for like, hey, maybe I just feel like killing some zombies. It's whatever you want to do, and I like the freedom. That's what I think a lot of games are like missing nowadays, because everything is tailored to go into like a certain direction instead of like, well, maybe if I want to, mess around in this way, you're not really. It's not really allowed, or you can't, because of how the game is like formatted and everything is just singular. It's
Sounds like one day we're gonna have to drag you into Sons of the Forest.
I've played
That's
that
a
too.
fantastic game. I'd love to get the group into. Me and W2F played that game a bit together. It is weird. It is not what you expect. There was exploration options in how you went about things, and the backlying storyline, you could push through it quick or just let it unfold slowly when you got bored of screwing around. And it was constantly not stuff you really expect.
Talking about the first one or the second one?
You know what I want to try?
The Forest and Sons of the Forest.
Instead of just retopoing it in Maya, I might just do the zero mesher, man. It's. I bet it'd come out better. Especially, it's not like it's a human part. You know what? Let's try that. So let me save this. But we're gonna open up ZBrush. We're gonna try the zero mesher type. Let's try that. Hold on. This one. We'll open that up. See what the zero mesher can give us. All of that work for nothing. Did it just crash? No. Okay. All right. So, turn the podcast
There are
back
subtle
on.
differences in the mechanics, but the unusual storyline is consistently similar across both of them.
And I think Sons of the Forest was far better in my opinion.
The mechanics were definitely
it was
better,
way more fleshed out.
Yeah.
Let's
Really?
try it.
I like the second one better for its mechanics, because one, you get like a little helper to help you do like all the little tedious stuff, and that was always the cherry on top
indeed
of
get
it.
a
That's what they were
helper in the
referencing.
second
They
one.
said Sons of the Forest because that is the
Sons
second
of the Forest
one.
is
Yeah,
two.
that's the second one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Alright, my
Sons of the
bad.
Forest is the second one.
Yeah,
The
gotcha.
Forest is the first one.
The Forest.
17,000.
That I played the shit out of.
And here's a little Easter egg. You get
Let's make
something
it
extra when you
smaller.
buy the original Forest. That game, if you buy the Forest, you get the VR version as well. You don't have to buy a separate VR version. If you buy the Forest, you can just turn on Steam VR, hook up your headset, and it runs in VR. So you get two versions of the game with just the core game. Nice.
Yeah, just my opinion. I'd rather play Rust, but that's just me.
I'm not much of a VR
7,000.
person. It makes me like nauseous.
Right.
I can only do it for so long, but it does
Same.
make the same game. A great example is Skyrim. I played Skyrim dozens and dozens of times back in the day, and then I picked it up one day in VR, and it was a whole new beast. It felt
Let's
like
try
I was
something
experiencing
else.
it for the very first time again.
I didn't like it in
Well,
VR.
Vertigo is very freaking real in that game.
Yeah.
Be careful looking down or jumping off things. You will puke or fall over.
All right, Lady Ducky.
All right. Well, I need this over here.
Oh, we get it.
Grab my sword and shield.
Nintendo
Yeah, I could grab my sword and shield. You know, I was thinking of saying, well, actually, I like Ocarina of Time better, but any Legend of Zelda game I really like. I just have this. I have my sword and shield, but I don't want to put it over here. I like Legend of Zelda games because just the art, the detail in their items, their characters, the story, and how it's just an adventure game, but also with puzzles, trying to solve through dungeons, and then the battles of going against the boss and trying to learn their patterns so you know how to attack them, and the nostalgia, you know, just from the past and playing it as a kid and getting frustrated. You know, I have a big heart for Legend of Zelda. I mean, when I first played it as a kid, I was playing Ocarina of Time, and I was outside where the zombies kept on popping up, and it was scaring the hell out of me. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god! And I'm running around trying to run away from them, and I was like, I hate this game, but I kept on playing it, and it just kind of, I don't know, something about you hating it, and it's hard, and then you just love it. I don't know why the hate made me love it, but I love Legend of Zelda.
That's a similar thing with me in playing Resident Evil 2. It was I played through the Leon Kennedy storyline, and my sister, she played through the Claire Redfield storyline. But it was the fact that, you know, we were playing together and we were getting scared by the zombies, and it had that slight heart rate thing, is why we kept coming back to it as a good positive experience. Like, there's something about getting your heart racing like that for a couple of minutes and playing a game that just...
But you also have a friend there with you.
Yeah,
it makes it
Yeah.
even more fun. That's I
That's what
love that,
draws
and that's
me to
why I have a heart
Helldivers.
for.
Sounds like we all like zombies over here, huh?
Well, that's what drives me to Helldivers. Is it gives you
What's
that
I'm gonna put this
adrenaline
back,
rush
sorry.
where you're, you know, with your guys and ladies, and you can face incredible, you know, circumstances together. And at the end of the day,
Challenges.
it gives you a feeling of accomplishment after you successfully, you know,
I don't
escape
like that.
that hell dive, if you will. And
We gotta do this.
I like that it's a cooperative game, because not only are you having to survive
Let me try it
tumultuous,
again.
you know, circumstances, you're also having the capability to conquer an unconquerable foe at any rate, in a more feasible sense, not just the arcade like, oh, it's a dungeon and a boss. No, you're facing an actual real-time war front together. That's what I really like about Helldivers and what Arrowhead's doing, is it gives you
Okay,
a feasible fictional
I can chill with this.
way of looking at the universe.
This
Done.
time I roamed off with purpose.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's your turn.
My first love. I haven't really followed the Zelda games as intensely since this. I played the
I wanna
Nintendo
fist bump
64
you.
ones a lot, the Ocarina, but that was
What?
pretty much my introduction to RPG adventure games.
Let's open this up.
Man, Zelda.
What is the pinnacle of gaming for you?
So for similar reasons as Skittles and what Ghost was saying on the topic of No Man's Sky, I would have to say, for similar reasons, Elder Scrolls Morrowind.
Yes.
What about
The
Skyrim?
freedom and directions you could go, the choices you could make that would permanently affect the world in ways, well, you could always load a prior save, but you could fuck your world and your experience up, making the
It
wrong
sounds like
choices,
Fable.
making the wrong
Let me
enemies, killing
delete
the wrong
that.
people.
I'm gonna file import. Yeah,
But
Fable.
in-
Fable
but
kind of
in-
does the same thing.
But in
It was a little
Fable, it
more on
remembers
rail.
your save file and it remembers when you've saved. In Morrowind, you could at least go back and fix things. In Oblivion, if you accidentally caused it, that's it. Your save file would remember it in Oblivion.
There you
Get
go.
ready to make a new character.
Yeah,
Boom.
you could
Oh my
permanently fuck the world
gosh.
in Oblivion.
Yeah.
By the way, harping on the whole Nintendo 64 thing, I gotta ask, was anybody else like a
there
split screen
spirals?
cardboarder?
Huh.
absolutely.
That might
it's
give
cardboard.
me spirals.
Yeah, had to
No.
put that piece of
Wait,
cardboard
probably
up.
here.
Fucking
No.
anybody.
Yeah,
You'd be
spirals
playing
When I
here.
played
GoldenEye and
Torah,
shit.
Looking at my
I'm
screen.
trying to keep looking at my
You're
screen.
cheating.
Oh my god. This
Okay,
is
for
Yeah,
funny.
you're
GoldenEye, that
playing
makes
competitive
sense.
Torah.
This is great.
They're
This
just,
will
like,
work.
watching
Boom.
where you are,
Done.
They come up behind you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Call of Duty. I remember those days. Oh,
We did that
We
big
good.
Xbox with
We good.
Halo
This character's
1. We
done.
would do LAN parties with 4 Xboxes.
Yeah, Zero
that
Mesher
worked
is the
together
way to
via
go for
cables.
that.
We
I probably
loved
used it for other stuff,
32-inch
but
friggin'
whatever.
150-pound TVs up the stairs of our friends' apartments. These giant tube TVs.
Doing topology in Maya, and then cheating with ZBrush. Ah. Alright. So now we got our character. That comes to 40,000 tries. Just a little above 40,000. Cool. Now what we gotta do next will be doing the UVs. So that'll be interesting. Maybe I can do that tomorrow. Maybe I can do it tomorrow. Yeah. Maybe I could play a game. Oh, hey, Polyfusion Studio. What's going on? You sound like you're a 3D modeler by your name. Ooh, look at those cute emotes you brought in here. Welcome, my friend. Yeah, we just finished up retopologizing all this. So, if it's too heavy, hopefully Nodden will tell me. And then I can, do some more fixes on it. But, other than that, yeah. Character's done. Maybe game asset? Yes, it's a game asset. It's pretty hot, heavy, 40,000, 20,000 faces, 40,000 tries. So, yeah, we'll see what they want to do with it. I could probably always clean it up a little bit more. But, yeah. I'm just ready to move on with this character. Yeah, increment and save. Yeah, I was just finishing up, friend. I hate that you popped in right at the end here. And I mean, I'll probably, yeah, I'm thinking maybe coming back on more, maybe tomorrow and doing UVs. I mean, I kind of want to, yeah, UVs will be next, yeah. UVs aren't laid out yet. That's the next step. I've been retopologizing for the past couple weeks. Mostly just working on the weekends. Yeah, UV's next. Kind of want to stream doing a video game. I kind of want to play a game. I kind of want to play Tears of the Kingdom. That'd be cool to stream. But yeah, I hate that you joined so late, man. You should have joined like an hour ago. But yeah, just gonna hop off. I'm in France. Okay, yeah, different time zones. I'm in the United States of America. America, yeah. But, oh, I bet France is really pretty. But yeah, I'm gonna take a break from this for now. But yeah, I hope you come back, man. You know, and then we could go over more 3D stuff or whatever. You know, I bet you have some good insight. Maybe you can teach me some things. But I hope you have a good rest of your day. Maybe I'll be back on later, maybe tomorrow. I don't know yet. We'll just see how I'm feeling, but I know I need a break. I'm not into game dev. Switch to 3D printing. Okay. Yeah, I have a 3D printer. So usually when I model stuff, if I really like it, I like to 3D print it. Let me see. I'll show you this. Oh. I 3D printed, I made this like, I don't know, I'll do full screen. I made like this, 3D modeled this, so then I 3D printed it. That's my like demon character. I painted this, but this is my like shark, little character. And then I made a dragon. I 3D modeled this dragon and I printed it. So yeah, I've been that's my kind of knowledge of 3D printing. And yeah, it's a resin printer. Oh, thank you, Dinosaur. I'm glad you like those. But I still give class to 3D artists and animation movies. That's really cool. It's a good start. Also, random, are your eyes blue? My eyes are very blue. Wait. Yeah. Blue. Blue's a nice color. But okay, so that's really cool. Blue gray. Blue gray? Well, I think they're blue, but thank you, friend. That's really cool. You teach, okay, so you give class to 3D artists and animation movies. Do you teach animation or do you teach like the creation of the 3D model itself? Because I would like to get back into doing some animation, you know. I learned it a long time ago in school, but I needed a break, you know. I'll put my stuff back. I like putting my stuff back. Oh, and Oh! There we go. Sorry about that. But ZBrush Blender Painter. Okay. Very cool. And shaders. Okay. Yeah, I have never touched Blender. I've always worked in Maya or Creator, and Creator's kind of like garbage. But yeah. Yeah, I was just about to hop off, and then everyone's like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "Oh God, I was about to hop off." I relearned the Blender pipe for rigging in Blender this summer with some IA help, ha ha ha, or AI help. Go get some rest. Yeah, I might be back on. I want to play a game. I've just been working. It'd be nice to play a game. Could I ask you a question? I was talking to someone in game about how our names come to be, but just curious how your name to be. No pressure in answering. Like Lady Ducky. Honestly, I don't know how I came up with it. I just thought it was adorable. Like duckies are kind of cute, and Ducky. What could I do? Ducky, and then Lady. I'm a lady, so Lady Ducky. That's how I came up with my name. I don't know. I just thought it was cute. But I'll try to be back. And my favorite thing about duckies, they're just really cute. They're just really cute. Oh, and polyfusion, because I fuse polygons together. So you have to make stuff. Yeah, that makes sense. And I'm gonna assume dinosaur rar because dinosaurs rar. All right, well, I'll be back. You guys have a good rest of your day. Ah! Bye.